Jays on Sportsnet. Presented by the 2018 Honda Civic Type R, like no Honda you've ever seen.
Welcome to Houston. Ryan Borucki has just completed his warm-ups, and he has made his way back into the Blue Jays dugout. Everybody is anxious for him to make this Major League debut. He's 24 years old, in his 8th season with the Blue Jays organization. He has been in spring training camp with the team for the last 2 years, so he knows everybody. In fact, he made 2 starts this spring for the Blue Jays in spring training. But you can bet there's some butterflies there right now as the Astros take the field. That is Charlie Morton, a veteran at 9-1. And Borucki's going to get a good test in his first big league game, facing one of the best lineups in all of baseball. The Blue Jays, they are riding a 3-game win streak. They've been hitting some home runs on this road trip. Top of the order, Curtis Granderson. He had a pair of home runs last night against his former teammate Justin Verlander. Over his last 13 games, he's hitting over 400. With 3 doubles and 5 home runs. And down in the 7th spot, Randall Grichuk. Over his last 19 games, 7 homers, 17 RBIs, and OPS over 1. He made a game-saving catch last night in right field and hit a monster home run high above the railroad tracks in left field here last night in front of a lot of family and friends.
Yeah, just starting to show what he can do. He's going to have to be on it tonight, because you mentioned Charlie Morton will get the start tonight, and he's 9-1. His only loss is to the Boston Red Sox back on June the 3rd. He's had a game this year where he struck out 14 batters in one game. Last start against Tampa Bay, just gave up 1 earned run on 2 hits in 6 innings. He's been a little bit off over his last 3 starts. He's walked 14 batters over his last 3 starts, but his ERA is still good. He's got a great curveball and a very good fastball that's really taken it to the next level since he has come over to Houston over the last few years. Versus the Blue Jays, he faced them a couple of times last season. 13 innings, 11 hits, and 4 earned runs against the Blue Jays. He's 1-0 in his career versus Toronto.
Defensively, the Astros have one of the best defensive teams in baseball, and they've got one of the most versatile players playing at shortstop tonight.
He has played 1 game at every position this year except pitcher and catcher. Most of his games have been in left field, but he's got some at first base, shortstop, second, third, left, center, and right. Every position but pitcher and catcher. He gives Carlos Correa the night off at shortstop. He is a good one. I'm telling you, he can swing the bat.
Here's the first pitch from Morton. It is just off the plate outside for a ball, and we are underway. Curtis Granderson, a pair of home runs in last night's game. He finished up 2 for 4 with a walk. Swinging a drive, but this one's hooking foul. Granderson hits it into the second deck and had enough distance.
We asked Curtis today around the batting cage, did you get those pitches off of your former teammate Justin Verlander? He says, I knew I got them okay, but I wasn't sure if they were going to leave. This one was into the second row in right field. This one in the first row in left field. He said he knew he hit it, but he wasn't sure he got it all, so he had to hustle out of the box.
He came in back-to-back at bats in the 5th and in the 7th for Granderson. Morton is ahead, a ball and 2 strikes. There's a curveball for the strikeout. That's his bread and butter pitch. He'll throw it a lot tonight.
The problems that Morton has had over his last 3 starts, he's been really opening up a little bit too quickly and rotating out of his delivery. He's going to try and stay close just a little bit longer, and that's going to help that curveball stay on the plate.
Morton is 34 years old. He was originally drafted by the Atlanta Braves in June of 2002 out of high school. He grew up in Connecticut. There's a fastball in there for strike 1. Teoscar Hernandez, he had a big return to Houston last night. He got a World Series ring prior to the game, and then just for some icing on the cake, he got 3 hits.
Yeah, and everybody in the coaching staff and the players that we have talked to for the Astros have nothing but good things to say about Teoscar Hernandez. Gary Pettis was his outfield coach. There's Gary for years here, and says this kid really works hard. Every day I had him out there throwing, working on his fielding and his throwing.
inside, jammed himself and fouls it off his foot. They try to walk off the impact of that one. Hernandez on the road trip, 5 for 19 with a home run. He had a 3-hit game last night, as we mentioned, and over his last 7 games, swinging the bat really well.
When he swings at strikes, and we talked about that in last night's game, when he swings at strikes, he's dangerous. He gets into trouble when he starts going outside of the strike zone on off-speed pitches.
Brian McCann taking a long time to give this sign to Morton. Another fastball with fouled back. Morton made a transition. Early in his career, he was a sinker slider pitcher. He went from Atlanta to Pittsburgh in June of 2009. He had shoulder problems. He had hip surgery. Had a lot of issues, and then he went from Pittsburgh to Philly in December of 2015. Then he tore a hamstring, missed most of the season in 2015. There's another curveball, another strikeout.
Well, one of the reasons why he has turned it around since he has come to Houston, and these are the numbers you were just speaking about, 46 and 71 from 08 to 16. He comes here, he's a different pitcher. He's got more life on his fastball. He's got a better curveball. 23 and 8 with an outstanding earned run average over the last 2 years. I remember when they signed him to that 2-year contract, you're like, what, Charlie Morton? What do they see in Charlie Morton? They said, well, Brent Strom says you got to start throwing your curveball just a little bit more. He's healthy. He's been healthy for 2 years. He's throwing the curveball with more regularity, and he's getting great results.
The fastball is the first pitch to Solarte, goes after it as Morton is ahead 0-1. Another fastball. And that's the difference right there. We talk about him being a sinker slider pitcher early in his career. Now he's a 4-seam fastball and a curveball pitcher. And the analytics now really support that approach from a lot of pitchers. We've seen Happ, we've seen Estrada utilize that same approach.
And if you don't throw a good 2-seamer, and I mean getting movement on it, if you don't throw a good one, it stays in the hitting zone.
A lot of people throw that 2-seamer that runs across the plane of the bat, doesn't go straight down. The true sinker will go straight down. 1-2 pitch. Curveball. Well, they can't get out to a better start than that. Charlie Morton strikes out the side. 3 curveballs does the trick for him. Ryan Borucki will make his first big league start when we come back to Houston. $18 games last night as Jay Happ beat them in the opener. Let's take a look at the lineup for A.J. Hinch's Astros. Down in that 3 spot, one of the best hitters in the game today, Jose Altuve, has 1,298 hits since the start of 2012. That's the most in the big leagues. And right behind him, Yuli Gurriel's hitting .309 for the season. He's up over 400 over his last 14 games, and he's a good clutch hitter. And they're going to take a first look at Ryan Borucki.
Major League debut tonight. Blue Jays 15th round draft pick in 2012. That's his first big league pitch. He was selected by the Jays in the 15th round out of a high school in Illinois. He hasn't pitched since June the 19th when he threw 7 innings at Pawtucket, threw his first shutout of the season in that game.
Comes back with a strike, a ball and a strike to George Springer, and there's the Borucki family in the middle of your shot. The man with the glasses, that's Ray Borucki, Ryan's father. And I spoke to him at length for about 10 minutes just before 6 o'clock. He was a nervous wreck.
He looks calm now, doesn't he?
Yeah, he won't be sitting there long. He played minor league baseball with the Phillies and the Tigers, so he knows what this is all about. He never got to the big leagues. Ryan Borucki, you see he wears 56. He grew up in the suburbs of Chicago, and Mark Burley was his idol. So he is given the honor of wearing that number in a Blue Jays uniform. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Half the family were Cub fans. The rest were White Sox fans. Thanks to Mark Burley. Doesn't throw like Mark Burley. Fastball, slider, changeup. He's got a good changeup.
2-2 pitch, breaking ball, misses. It's a full count.
This is where Russell Martin becomes very important, I think, for a young pitcher. Russell's been around the block a few times, so he knows what to do with young starters. Dad can't watch.
Fly ball into shallow center. Here comes Pilar, the center fielder. He calls for it, and Borucki is a big league pitcher. He's got an out. Ryan Borucki gets George Springer to pop out to the center fielder. 1 down. Now he can breathe.
You know, it's so hard when you come up and you're in the ballpark for the first time. You know, I was talking to one of the Blue Jay coaches today. We were talking about the minor leagues compared to the major leagues. And, you know, down in the minor leagues, nobody knows you. You're not watching your highlights on television that night when you mess up. So there's a little bit more pressure. There's more fans. So he got his first batter.
Alex Bregman had a good night last night. Bregman hit a home run and had an RBI single. There's a good changeup in there for a strike. Well, I tell you what, you see a young pitcher that can throw a changeup for strikes. That's an impressive impression that you get early on. He can throw the changeup when he's behind.
When they signed him, it was fastball changeup. He had a little bit of a breaking ball, but they had to rework his windup a little bit to give it a little bit of deception. He had to battle some injuries.
Fly ball. Teoscar Hernandez has it measured. He waits for it, and Bregman is retired. 2 fly ball outs. Jose Altuve. I mentioned he has the most hits since 2012 in the major leagues. 1,298 hits. The fastball gets away from Borucki. This will be an interesting pitch now. 2-0. We've seen him throw his changeup when he's behind, and if he can do that to Altuve, might be a perfect time to throw it. There's the changeup, and it missed away.
2 quick outs, and now you want to get back into the dugout, and you want to like speed it up just a little bit. This is where you just slow things down a little bit here. Don't try and overthrow and get there. He loses him on 4 pitches.
The ball ran away off the plate. A 4-pitch walk to Altuve. I bring Yuli Gurriel to the plate. Gurriel batting in that cleanup spot tonight. No Carlos Correa, as Marwin Gonzalez has given Correa the night off. Gurriel batting .309 for the season, having a terrific start to his year. Off-speed pitch. Fly ball into shallow left. Diaz goes out, and Teoscar Hernandez lets him catch it. So Ryan Borucki gets 3 fly ball outs the family can relax a little bit. He's a big league pitcher. 3 up, 3 down, no problem.
My Blue Jays members, log in to My Blue Jays and enter the code MBJ2980 to earn My Blue Jays points just for watching tonight's broadcast. Your entry box can be found on your My Blue Jays homepage. And don't forget, the code must be entered by 4 a.m.
Thank you very much, Hazel. Lots of Blue Jay fans on hand, and they saw the Blue Jays win the opener last night 6-3. The Jays out hit the Astros 9-8. Dustin Smoke had a lot to do with that win. He had a 2-run double off Justin Verlander in the first inning. They had dropped him down into the 5th spot. Tonight he's back up to the 4th spot because Kendrys Morales is not in the lineup.
How about those borderline pitches that he's taking? That's another secret that you can show that a guy is ready to start hit. And he's starting to hit. When you start taking those borderline pitches that are just off the plate, you're in good hitting position, you're ready to swing, but your eyes tell you it's just off the plate.
Good numbers over his last 7 games, batting .348. 3-0 pitch to Smoke. Unusual. He doesn't swing very often on a 3-0 pitch. But he's seen the ball very well lately. That pitch was right on the outside corner.
Maybe he'll let his veterans do that. They'll give him the option. Hey, you know, if you feel comfortable swinging 3-0, go ahead and swing. The way Morton has started this game, he's got his curveball. I want to get to a point where I'm not swinging at the curveball.
Another fastball there fouled off. Now a 3-2 count. Kevin Pillar back in the lineup tonight. He did not start in the game. Came in as a defensive replacement last night in the 9th inning, which proved to be a heck of a move because that moved Randal Grichuk to right, and he made that game-saving catch. Smoke takes the breaking ball off the plate away for a ball. That has been an issue for Charlie Morton. His command has been off lately. He's thrown off a lot of pitches off the plate. 14 walks coming into this game.
Over his last 3, 6 of them in that one start June 9th. 6 walks, and he hit 4 batters in that game. Again, it's just a feel where he is spinning off of his delivery just a little bit. He's got to make sure that he keeps that front shoulder closed a long time, and then his momentum is going towards home plate. You do that, you will stay in line.
Kevin Pillar goes after the first fastball and swings right through it. Pillar on the road trip, 2 for 17. He got the night off last night. Did not have a plate appearance in that game. He commits to that pitch and goes too far. It's 0-2.
We mentioned that Morton had 6 walks and hit 4 batters. The last Astro pitcher to do that, sitting right next to us. There he is, Sparky. Steve Sparks did it.
He was a knuckleballer.
He was a knuckleballer. That was different. In Tampa Bay, 6 walks, hit 4 batters. His team won the game.
But our waves at that breaking ball, that's 4 strikeouts. All the outs recorded so far have been curveballs.
Well, he's got one of the best curveballs in all of baseball. Watch this. He can really spin the baseball. It looks like a strike, and he sweeps it right out of the strike zone. Look at the spin rate. Almost 3,000 RPMs, where the league average is just 2,500. And he didn't bring that out when he was with Pittsburgh. Not like he has since he has come over to Houston.
We talked to Brent Strom about spin rate, and we asked Brent if you could teach a pitcher a breaking ball. Can you teach him to throw a curveball? He said, absolutely, you could teach him. He said, I learned from one of the best, Sandy Koufax. And Koufax had big hands and long fingers, and he really could wrap his fingers around that breaking ball. Smoke is on the move, and he's going to be a dead duck. In fact, a hit and run, obviously, you don't ask Smoke to steal a base, but Martin swings through it. Brian McCann delivers a strike to second. 6th base runner he's caught this season. So the Blue Jays trying to get something going. They haven't been able to put the bat on the ball in this game yet.
They like to hit 1-0, but that's a tough pitch. Down and away, fastball, and no chance for Smoke on that one. John Gibbons gambling that Russell would make some contact there.
Ball and a strike to Russell Martin. He goes after that high heater. Russell is 0 for 7 going up against Charlie Morton. When Martin caught Morton in Pittsburgh, he was a much different pitcher.
Sinker slider type of pitcher. He redid his mechanics after he was in the big leagues a couple years. Dropped his arm down a little bit more to get some movement.
That curveball has been wicked. Charlie Morton has 5 strikeouts through 2 innings. They've all come on the breaking ball.
Never got the call. Tonight, your son is a major league pitcher. What has this meant to you and to your family?
Unbelievable feeling. Mixed emotions all day today, crying, smiling, happy. We've worked so hard since Ryan was 4 years old, and I couldn't be happier and prouder of my son.
Did you have any last words for him last night?
Just told him to trust this stuff, and I love him, and have a great game.
Well, Ray, I think Blue Jays fans know that without you and your friends and your family, he wouldn't be where he is. So congratulations. Enjoy the night.
Thank you very much.
All right, guys, back to you.
Thank you very much, Hazel. Ray Borucki played in the minor leagues for 5 seasons with the Philadelphia Phillies in their minor league system from 79 to 82, and then he played a final year in Double-A with the Detroit Tigers. So he knows what this game is all about and how difficult it is to make your way to the majors. And he's certainly a proud father tonight.
Came up through the Phillies system, so he played with some future major leaguers, I'm sure. Julio Franco was on the team in '81 in Oklahoma City. Ryan Sandberg was there also.
How about George Bell?
George Bell?
He played with George Bell in '79 at Spartanburg. Here's Evan Gattis. He takes the first pitch strike. Ryan Borucki had a walk in his first big league inning. He walked Altuve with 2 outs, but then got Gurriel to pop out to the shortstop. Gattis batting .247 for the season. He's had a great month of June. There's a good fastball, a little sneaky fastball in there for strike 2.
Yeah, that's the book on him right there. I mentioned how they tweaked his windup just a little bit. When he signed, he was really exposing his pitches in his windup. So now there's a little deception there. Jeff Ware has a lot to do with that in his windup. Jeff Ware is the pitching coordinator now for the Toronto Blue Jays. When he starts his windup, you see his hands go down behind his body and hide that ball for a long time. So when he's ready to throw it, doesn't give a lot of view to that hitter. And the ball jumps on you quicker.
Pretty good pitch right there. He missed off the plate. Inside. 1-2 to Evan Gattis. Borucki had Tommy John surgery in 2012. Missed all of the 2013 season. Blue Jays were aware he had an elbow issue when they signed him out of high school. A roller up the third baseline. That'll be foul.
Yeah, he was just a young pup when they signed him out of high school. So they really tried to take care of him. Piggybacked him sometimes. 2 pitchers would be ready to pitch most of the ball game, where you're not overextending a guy early on in his career. Then you mentioned the Tommy John surgery, and then in 2015 he only threw 5 2/3 innings. Had some elbow issues again in 15, so it was a slow developing type of player.
Line drive left field. This one is a foul ball. Evan Gattis out in front. In 2015, Borucki had bone spur surgery on his elbow. Dr. Andrews, who did the Tommy John surgery, went back in there and cleaned up some bone spurs. That's why 15 was such a down season. He started the 16 season in Dunedin and was overmatched. Maybe the darkest moment of his career. First 6 starts in 2016. He had a 14.4 earned run average. But the Blue Jays recognized that, dropped him back down to the Midwest League at Lansing, and he had a good season. Regained his confidence, won 10 games there in the Midwest League. This is another ball that's going to reach the seats, foul. Gattis checked his bat, make sure it wasn't broken. He looked at his hand like he got a fistful of bees on that last one.
1-2, time to expand. Right here. Throw the pitch that you've got a lot of confidence in, and the pitch that you can command and control. Now 1-2, whatever that is. If it's your changeup, go ahead and throw your changeup. If it's your fastball, throw the fastball. It's like they're going to come inside.
Jammed it. Little fly ball into center field. Pilar comes over into the alley, makes the catch. All 4 outs for Borucki have been in the air. Everybody back home in Mundelein, Illinois, watching this game tonight. They said they have a watch party going on at high school, Mundelein High School, where Ryan went to high school. A lot of family and friends came down here to take part in this major league debut. Josh Reddick, the batter. Reddick had a pinch hit base hit in the game last night. Travis has it skipped under his glove. He went to his left. Looked like he was going to play it on a short hop that skipped underneath his glove. That'll probably scored a hit, but it's a play that we've seen Travis make in the past.
Plenty of times. Didn't look like he kept the glove down long enough. He gets there, and he doesn't smother it or keep the glove down long enough. Still waiting to get a ruling. But yeah, you're right. We have seen Devin make that play time and time again.
They have credited Reddick with a hit. A one-out hit. Marwin Gonzalez is a switch hitter. Maybe, and this is a broad statement, but maybe the most valuable player on the Astros team, because he can play so many positions, plus the fact he's a switch hitter.
You know, that's why I wanted to highlight him on defense. We've seen him play all over the place over the years. And when you're ready to give Carlos Correa, your starting shortstop, a day off, how nice is it to look down your bench and see this guy?
Marwin Gonzalez is a natural shortstop. That's what he played when he signed with the Cubs originally. A.J. Hinch has the benefit of basically a 26, 27-man roster when you factor in how versatile Marwin Gonzalez is.
And he played all of those positions last year, so much so that he got into 134 games for the Astros, hit 23 homers and drove in 90 runs. But he's a man without a position.
Or a man with many of them. He became the first major league player to play 19 or more games at 5 different positions on the field. I mean, that's versatility. And in this day and age when ball players are always worried about their comfort level. Well, I'm not really comfortable batting third. I'm not really comfortable playing left field. He plays everywhere. Martin hangs on to the foul tip, and that'll be the first big league strikeout for Ryan Borucki. Let's check in with Brad Fay. Thank you very much, Brad. Didi Gregorius, the shortstop. You see, that's the strikeout ball from Borucki's first big league strikeout. Marwin Gonzalez, the victim. Here's Jake Marisnick. Marisnick's the center fielder. Reddick is on the move, fouled straight back on the foul ball. So Reddick will go back to first. They turn to the umpire, Brian Gorman, just to make sure it was a foul ball. He goes right back to first base. But he was moving on the hit and run.
Yeah, straight steal. With 2 outs, he was trying to get into scoring position. If he gets thrown out, they take their chances next inning with Marisnick leading off. He went on first movement. A lot of information on Borucki's move over to first base.
Well, here's that good changeup. He had Marisnick way out in front. 1-2 now, 2 outs. There's a base hit to left field. Marisnick rips it to left. Reddick is on his way to third base. The throw should have gone to second. The Blue Jays do this time and time again. There's no play at third base with 2 outs. Reddick runs too well. That throw's got to go to second base. Now you've allowed 2 base runners to reach scoring position.
Yeah, Diaz was getting over there, the shortstop, but he was pointing to throw the ball to second base. His job is to get over there just in case the ball gets by him. He's the cutoff man, but watch him. He's going to point. Hey, throw the ball to second base because you got no chance to get Reddick at third base. Keep that runner out of scoring position. It's got to go to second base.
So now the Astros have 2 in scoring position for the number 9 hitter, Brian McCann. It has scored a double for Marisnick. McCann did not start in the game last night. He's hitting .215 for the season, but he's always a threat. 5 homers and 17 ribbies. Brian McCann has played his entire life on good teams. Came up with the Braves, spent 9 years in Atlanta, 3 years with the New York Yankees. This is his 2nd season with Houston.
And it's not by accident that he's on good teams. He has a lot to do with that. Taking care of those pitching staffs, Smart guy, can come up with some clutch hits, big power hitter.
He's had 10 seasons of 20 or more home runs. He's a 7-time All-Star and won the Silver Slugger Award 6 different seasons. Berecki knocks it down. They got a shot at first. Diaz makes a nice play, and Smoke scoops it out of the dirt. Ryan Berecki, 2 innings in the books. He's given up 2 hits, but he's got a major league strikeout. He strikes out Marwin Gonzalez, much to the delight of his family and friends here in Houston.
Sportsnet's Hockey Insiders have NHL free agency covered. Get the lowdown on every move. Hockey Central signing season presented by Molson Canadian, Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific time, right here on Sportsnet.
All sorts of Blue Jays jerseys in this ballpark tonight from all different eras. No score, top of the 3rd inning. Randall Grichuk, boy, he had quite a night last night. He had a monster home run to give the Blue Jays a 6-3 lead, and then Rob Springer of a 3-run home run here. He gets his bat sawed in half. 1 away. The Pitch Tracker is brought to you by Coors Light. Coors Light MLB cans available now, featuring the Red Sox, Jays, Yankees, Cubs, Mariners, and Expos. Charlie Morton mowing them down, isn't he?
Yeah. Got in the kitchen there, Randall Grichuk. They were still talking about the home run that he hit in last night's game around the batting cage today. And I was talking to some of the Houston people who have been here since this ballpark opened, and they said that was the longest home run they've ever seen hit here, because it was in left center field. I asked them, I said, well, what about the Pujols home run in the playoffs? They said, well, that was down the line. This was in left center field, and it was over. It would have gone over that railroad engine or whatever it is out there that goes up and down there. That it would have gone over that if it was a little bit to the right.
Yeah, and there's the locomotive high on the railroad tracks above left center, and we didn't really see exactly where it hit, but I think it hit on that 17 banner, which
just above it
represents the World Series.
Yeah, and that wasn't here last year.
Hot shot, gloved by Gurriel. He takes a hit away from Diaz.
Scoop it.
Not very nice to his fellow Cuban baseball player. Takes a hit away from him.
It's always easier to field the ball off to the side because it frees up your arm and your glove, and he picks that one. Made it look easy.
Bouncing ball up the middle. Gonzalez fires the first. Charlie Morton has faced the minimum through 3 innings. He walked a batter, but he was caught stealing.
MLB At Bat is your #1 Blue Jays app. Customize your experience to catch every moment this season. Get Blue Jays home screen icons and features such as the MLB TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live radio broadcasts, stats, news, and more. Download MLB At Bat today.
We move to the bottom of the third. No score in this game. The Astros have the only 2 hits. Reddick with an infield hit got through the glove of Devin Travis at second, and Jake Marisnick a crisp double to left field. But they were both stranded. Ryan Borucki misses with the first pitch. Second time through the order for the Astros. This is their first opportunity to look at Ryan Borucki. He's had trouble with that fastball. He's just a little bit quick. He needs to slow down a bit, lead more with his hand, and he'll get that ball inside to these righties.
Yeah, that's the problem. They were trying to run that thing inside against Springer.
Bouncing ball, big hop for Solarte. In time. Springer's 0 for 2. So what do you think the expectations are for Borucki tonight as far as Pete Walker and John Gibbons are concerned?
I think they'd be delighted if he can give them 5 innings against the World Series champions. Give him 5 innings. Anything after that would be gravy. He doesn't look at all like he's out of his league right now. He looks like he's under control, concentrating, making some pretty good pitches. But I think they'd be thrilled with 5 innings. 2 times through the lineup.
I tell you what, he is making Mark Burley very proud of the fact that he's wearing Burley's number. He works just like Burley. Steps on the rubber, works very quickly. He grew up north of Chicago in Mendelein, Illinois, about 40 miles from downtown Chicago, up on the north side. His father was a Cubs fan, and the 2 boys were White Sox fans, and Burley was Borucki's idol. That's Ray Borucki in the middle of that shot there. Very proud dad. And to his right is his other son. He's with him here as well.
Pitch. And I asked him if he's ever had the pleasure of running in and talking to Mark Burley when he was in spring training. I'm sure they ran in across each other at some point. He's been in the organization for a long time.
Bregman rips that high fastball to the left. This is going to be extra bases. He's around first, headed for second, and he will get there with a 1-out double. Bregman had a homer and an RBI single in last night's game. That's his 23rd double of the season, and that'll bring Jose Altuve to the plate.
Shave off the mustache and things start to happen for you offensively. He's got that short swing. Tough to get a fastball by him. He has also had 12 home runs this season. And he's a baseball player.
So Bregman with the double. Jose Altuve will face Borucki. Altuve drew a 4-pitch walk his first time up. Today is Jose Altuve Day in Houston. They have recognized him for his community activism, the extraordinary sportsmanship that he represents, and he was given a certificate that acknowledged that today. So it is officially Jose Carlos Altuve Day in the city of Houston.
And why not? I mean, this is one of the best players in baseball. He's already had over 100 hits this year, on his way to another 200 hit season. Plays every day, power, speed, Gold Glove defense.
Murphy hasn't thrown him a strike yet. It's 3-0. Altuve is the only batter in the major leagues with 100 hits. He has had 200 hits in 4 straight seasons coming into this year. He walks for a second time. So Altuve's at first, Bregman's at second. Yuli Gurriel popped out on the first pitch he saw from Berucki. That ended the bottom of the first. He's a very aggressive hitter, especially with runners in scoring position.
And they threw him a breaking ball that first pitch. He was way out in front. 2 outs and Altuve at first base. He likes to swing at that first pitch.
Well, that's a good pitch right at the knees. Good fastball. Gurriel leads the majors with a .474 batting average with runners in scoring position. Berucki's got a challenge in front of him. Fly ball. Pilar has room. Bregman going back to tag at second, but he'll hold right there. 2 outs now. That'll bring Evan Gattis to the plate. Gattis leads all major leaguers with 25 RBIs in the month of June, and his teammate Alex Bregman is right behind him.
And Gurriel is a couple away from that. This is a team that's starting to catch fire offensively, and you're getting it from, you know, not the normal guys that you usually hear from. You know, Springer and Altuve and all those, but it's Gattis. This is why this is a deep lineup. You've got power. They've got some speed. If you make mistakes, it can be 3-0 very quickly.
Gattis popped out to the center fielder his first time up. Berucki pitched him very well inside. Kept the ball in on his hands and tied him up. Gattis hit a couple of line drives, but they were well fouled down the left field line.
They talk about having a sneaky fastball. That's what he has. That ball can get on you very quickly. Watch how he hides the ball and then unwinds and then delivers to the plate. So if you're going to pitch him fastballs inside, you got to get inside with it. If you're going to throw him changeups, keep it down and off the plate.
Right on the outside corner. 2 balls and a strike now. 2 outs. We're in the bottom of the third inning. No score. That's a good pitch. Russell Martin liked that pitch. Berucki didn't get to call. Now it's 3-1. You know, when you're pitching in the minor leagues, you might have 1, maybe 2 good hitters in the lineup. Then you get your first chance to pitch in the big leagues, and it's against the Astros.
Nice pitch. But you don't think about that. You just think about, okay, I have to execute this next pitch. I'm not thinking the situation or who's at bat or anything like that. Try to take what you did in AAA. Those are really good numbers over his last 7 starts, and continue doing that here.
3-2. Runners are moving, and Gattis hits it for the shortstop. Nice play by Diaz. He's got a shot in time. What a play by the shortstop, Aledmus Diaz. He had to deal with the runner crossing in front of his path. He dove, backhanded, got to his feet, and makes a heck of a throw to gun down Evan Gattis. The runners were moving on the pitch. He got blocked out a bit, gloves it, fires a strike to Smoke to end the inning. Lead things off for the Blue Jays in the 4th inning, and here's a look at his numbers over his last 13 games. He's hit .415, 5 home runs and 10 RBIs. His OPS is 1.308. Granderson struck out on a breaking ball his first time up. Charlie Morton has faced the minimum. He walked Justin Smoke, but he was thrown out on a hit and run attempt. So he's faced 9 batters first 3 innings, and that breaking ball has been a very effective pitch for him.
Yeah, it's been money for him so far tonight. Curtis Granderson over those last 13 games, that's a cool .854 slugging percentage from the leadoff spot. That's pretty impressive.
Another curveball, 79 miles an hour, and it comes from way off the plate outside. Have a tendency to give up on it.
You say, well, how does Curtis Granderson generate so much power? He's not really a big guy, but he's got a quick bat when he catches it out front.
Let's check in with Brad Fay. David Price on the mound for the Red Sox. John Lamb was the starter. He is out of the ballgame after an inning and 2/3. Deck McGuire is into the game. You know, we talk about Charlie Morton making the transition from a 2-seam fastball to a 4-seam fastball. And I think you saw the value of that 4-seam pitch in the strikeout to Granderson. He threw it right inside. It was a hard pitch for Granderson to swing at.
Or to catch out in front. And that's what I mean. That's what you want to do. You want to change up on these guys and throw them off their game. Yeah, 2-seam fastball and pitch inside when he was with Pittsburgh. Trying to use that fastball in the inner half. Now it's more 4-seam fastball all over the strike zone in a curveball.
Upstairs. 1-2. 4th inning, no score. Blue Jays looking for their first hit. They've had a walk, and he was erased, caught stealing. Another fastball right in on the hands. 97 miles an hour.
The diverse Civic family, our most powerful lineup yet. Honda, proud fan since 1977 and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Good shot of downtown in Houston. We're just a couple of blocks away from the city center. And there was Solarte. He struck out on a breaking ball. He said, I'm not swinging at that breaking ball. Looked like a statue taking that pitch. 7 strikeouts for Morton.
You got a chance to see Charlie Morton in the World Series up close and personal. He pitched in a couple games, had a start. It seemed like A.J. Hinch was riding the hot hand with him. And he really took it to the next level in the World Series.
Charlie Morton in that World Series pitched 4 innings of relief to win Game 7. In winning Game 7, he became the first pitcher to win 2 Game 7s in the same postseason. He won Game 7 against the Yankees in the ALCS. But you're right. A.J. Hinch threw all the analytics out the window, and he stayed with Morton.
Yeah, he didn't go with his closer. He went with Morton, and he rewarded him. 11 strikeouts and just 1 walk in the World Series.
Well, and you know what? A.J. Hinch, he leans heavily on the analytics, but he's also a ball player. And he will allow his eyes to tell him what to do. And at that point in Game 7, it was Charlie Morton's game. Another breaking ball, strikeout for Morton. He strikes out the side in the 4th. 8 strikeouts through 4 innings for the Astros righty.
Thanksgiving, unforgettable. The Tour de France, July 7th to the 29th on Sportsnet 1.
Letmus Diaz has really played tough defense in support of Ryan Barucki early in this game.
Solid. He saved a few runs already. This play right here to end the inning with Brian McCann up, a couple of runners on. That saved a couple of runs, and then this bullet saved a run off the bat of Evan Gaddis. He has been steady at shortstop, and you watch him day in and day out now. You become a little bit more of a fan watching him play the position of shortstop. He's got a strong arm and some soft hands. And Blue Jays, that's going to end up being a pretty good trade. They got him from the Cardinals.
Breaking ball hammered down in the right field corner. Reddick is around first. He's headed for second, and he'll get there with his second hit of the ball game. A leadoff double here in the fourth.
That's 3 straight hits for Josh Reddick. Remember, he pinch hit in last night's ball game and got a base hit before they put out the fire. He singled his first time up and then doubled. Josh Reddick came into this game having hit 13 home runs in 47 games against the Blue Jays, and now his batting average is right around 300 against the Jays.
So with Reddick at second, Barucki will work to Marwin Gonzalez. Gonzalez was the first strikeout victim for Barucki, and got him in the second inning, his first big league strikeout. Only strikeout is recorded so far tonight. Ball gets away from Martin, but not far enough for Reddick to move up. Gonzalez, a switch hitter. Batting right-handed against lefties. He's at 272. Just 226 facing righties.
His job right now is move that runner. You saw that graphic that he hasn't had hit for a while.
Fly ball to left field. Tagging up is Reddick. You got to get the ball back in quick. Tell you what, this team, they run the bases very well. Always looking for a chance to advance. Reddick went right back immediately to tag up.
Well, it was the read. He read that ball that it was off the end of the bat just a little bit, and it wasn't going to go off the wall. So Reddick, who came up in Boston for the Red Sox. This is like playing in Fenway Park. We talked about that last night. Read it beautifully off the bat, went back to tag up.
Jake Marisnick hit a slider for a double. His only time up. Came back in the second. Fastball ahead. Boy, I like the way Barucki, he never really flinches. Comes right back at the next hitter and throws a get-ahead strike.
Had a chance to talk with Dane Johnson today, who was the pitching coordinator for the Blue Jays when they drafted Ryan Barucki, and he said that he's tough out there, not afraid of anything, not afraid to throw the ball in there. He's going to give you everything he has. He's a gamer, basically.
Well, you know these pitching coaches, both Dane Johnson and Pete Walker. This is like watching their kid out there starting.
Right. That's right. I asked him, I said, are you really proud of him that he's gotten here to the big leagues? He says yes. When you see him as, you know, an 18-year-old just starting out in pro ball, then you have the adversity that he had early in his career, missing basically 2 full seasons when he was a teenager. And now here he is in the big leagues. You're almost like a proud papa.
Yeah, and these pitching coaches have worked long and hard with these young pitchers, and now to see them pitching in the big leagues has got to be very satisfying. Marisnick behind 0-2. He strikes him out. Elevated that fastball for the strikeout. 2 away now. Another sign of pretty good maturity for a young pitcher. Leadoff double, gets a fly ball to left, and now strikes out Marisnick.
He wanted to go inside. That ball came back out over the middle. Got away with a mistake, but he will take it for sure.
Brian McCann goes after the first pitch. McCann hit the ball right back to the mound, but Rucky got a piece of it. But then Aledmus Diaz, playing in the shift, came quickly from the bag at second and made a nice play to end the inning. That was in the second. Diaz in that position right there where you see him. The deflection went off Borucki, and he had to come and make a play on the grass. There goes Reddick. All is fouled off. Blue Jays were playing in the shift. Reddick was just going to take advantage of that defensive alignment, and Solarte never left his defensive position.
Yeah, and he's looking in there to the Louis Rivera, the infield coach for the Blue Jays, and he's like, what should I do? You don't leave your position. That's what you do. You give him that base. There's nothing you can do about that. Reddick picked up that there's nobody at third base, so he was going to try and move up, and Solarte's like, should I leave and try and take the third? No, let's let him have third base.
There he goes again, and McCann fouls it off, and Russell with a heck of a play. Martin tipped it with his glove, knocked it in the air, and then got it a second time. The Blue Jays have really played some tough defense early in this game. There's the foul tip off the glove, and Martin is so quick he picks it out of the sky for a strikeout. Now time for a Blue Jay Central update. Here's Brad Fay with Joe Siddle in the Samsung broadcast studio.
By Honda, the first 20,000 fans will receive this Blue Jays red hat. Fans are encouraged to get to the ballpark early to take part in our pregame festivities. Great seats are still available. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
Scoreless game here as we head to the top of the fifth. It'll be Smoke, Pilar, and Martin for the Blue Jays against Charlie Morton. Blue Jays haven't been able to solve Morton. Take a look at this last play of the inning. Brian McCann fouls it off the glove of Russell Martin, who picks it out of the air for the strikeout.
That's a legal play because the foul tip hit the catcher's glove or his hand, and then you can catch it out of the air. If it fouls off any other part of the catcher's body, you can't catch it in the air and record the out. But because it hit the glove first, Russell, with the outstanding play, gets his pitcher another strikeout.
Another red star in the book for the defense tonight. Aledmus Diaz has a couple of red stars, and now we'll give Russell Martin one. But that curveball has been really effective for Charlie Morton. Blue Jays haven't had a hit. They've only had one base runner, and he was erased as Justin Smoke walked and then was thrown out on an abortive hit and run play.
I like how he is really, Morton, his windup, he's really under control. He's not flying open, overthrowing that curveball. He's just letting it work.
You know, you talked about Morton and the fact that he won 2 Game 7s in the postseason, including that clincher at Dodger Stadium, pitching in relief. Many people believe that the Dodgers created their own problems losing that World Series by sticking too closely to the analytics. In Game 2, Rich Hill was dealing against the Astros. No problem at all. But he was getting ready to face the lineup for a 3rd time through the order, and they pulled him out of the game. Smoke strikes out. That's 4 straight strikeouts for Morton.
You know, then you put a little bit more pressure on the bullpen. You take your starter out. I mean, they were out of whack. They weren't even sniffing any hits off of Rich Hill.
Well, and Brandon Morrow had to pitch in that game, and he would eventually pitch in all 7 games in the World Series. He ran out of gas at the end. But you stick to Hill, and Hill was upset. You remember Rich Hill's reaction when they took him out of the game in the 5th inning, and they had the lead. In that game, Marwin Gonzalez would hit a home run off Kenley Jansen in the 9th inning to tie it. Houston wanted in extra innings to even the series to a game apiece.
If LA wins that game, it's over. Might have been a different outcome.
Kevin Pillar.
Well, this might be a good time, I think, for Kevin to sell out on a fastball. Maybe look for one here, see if you can do some damage.
There's the fastball, but it was in a good spot. Look where that fastball is. 96, right on the inside corner.
Can't get your hands through when it's 2-seam and right in on your thumbs. Kevin tried to catch it out in front. Couldn't get to it.
Came right back with a fastball. You know what? And Kevin was a little bit late. The fastball was 97, but these Blue Jay hitters have that curveball in the back of the mind because Morton has thrown it so well, especially with 2 strikes.
Tough to go up there looking for it, though, when a guy throws 97 miles an hour. And it's breaking as much as it's breaking.
Brian McCann calls for the inside fastball. 10 strikeouts for Morton.
Check out the Beauty Tone Paint event on now through July 3rd, only at Home Hardware. Here's how.
We're in Houston. This is Game 2 of a 3-game series. The Blue Jays are 3-2 on this road trip so far. Martin gets the first hit of the ball game for the Blue Jays. Jumps on that first fastball. So with 2 outs in the 5th inning, the Blue Jays finally break through against Charlie Morton and get a base hit.
Finally make contact. 5 strikeouts in a row. The fans are now just realizing the no-hitter is gone, giving him a nice little ovation. They wanted the fastball away. It stays inside, and Russell bangs it to center field.
Just the 2nd base runner for the Blue Jays so far tonight. Rich hit gets sawed off again, and that's going to fall for a base hit. He's tough on the bats tonight. 2 at bats, 2 broken bats, but that last one results in a base hit.
Look what's left of that bat. Charlie Morton goes over there, picks it up, and stuck right into the grass in front of 3rd base. 2nd time that Grichuk has been sawed off. This time he's going to get himself a base hit, though.
That's the beauty of baseball. Last night he hit the longest home run in this ballpark, 471 feet. Tonight he's got a broken bat single that just got over the shortstop's head. They all count just 1 hit. So now Ledmus Diaz, he's a very good first ball hitter, and he's anxious to get that first pitch. He breaks his bat. Marwin Gonzalez from shortstop in time. Brian McCann and Charlie Morton mixing it up a little bit, using the fastball effectively here in the 5th. Still no score.
At the ballpark on Friday, July 6th, the first 20,000 fans will receive this Blue Jays bucket hat when the Jays host the New York Yankees at 7:07 p.m. Eastern. Join us in the WestJet flight deck for live music and entertainment. Don't forget, you've got to visit BlueJays.com for tickets.
Ryan Borucki in his first big league start has run the ball very well. 4 hits over 4 innings, no runs. He walked 2 and struck out 3. 69 pitches. In his last 3 starts in AAA Buffalo, he threw 108, 108, and 93. So he is well stretched out. No reason to be concerned about the pitch count.
Yeah, and his last start was on the 19th. So he is well rested.
That was against Pawtucket, the Boston Red Sox AAA ball club. He went 7 innings, allowed 3 hits, no runs, walked the batter, and struck out 4. Borucki is one of those guys that you say, well, 91, 92, yeah, it doesn't really do anything. But then you watch him pitch, you go, man, he's got command of 3 pitches. Another strike. I tell you one thing that I've been impressed with. He's not afraid to throw strikes.
No, that's what Dane was saying today. He said, you know, he will challenge you. He's not afraid to come inside if he has to. He's got command of all those pitches. There's another fastball. It's just 92 miles an hour, but it's in a good spot.
There are a lot of Blue Jays personnel in the minor leagues. You can bet they are locked in on this game tonight. Bob Stanley, the pitching coach in AAA. Jeff Ware, the minor league roving instructor. Some of the minor league managers. Dennis Holmberg had Borucki in Bluefield. Springer reaches for that and hits a 2-hopper to second. But so many people in the development and scouting department, they deserve a lot of credit for sticking with Borucki. He was a high school player, drafted out of Illinois, had injuries, had some real dark moments. We mentioned the 6 starts in Dunedin and a 14.40 earned run average. But to their credit, the organization recognized that, hey, he's a little bit overwhelmed right now. Let's put him in a good spot, and demoted him to Lansing, and things turned around. Bregman pulls it well foul on the first pitch. Looks like that might have been a changeup.
Some kind of off-speed pitch that he's out in front. He just turned 24 years old. So you put the time in. How many years has he been in the organization? 8 years in the organization. Still just 24 years old.
But he's been a name we've heard for the last couple of years. And we talked to Pat Henkin, who's down in the minor leagues, and he watches a lot of these young pitchers. He's always been impressed by Borucki's composure, his delivery, his mechanics. Bregman rips it past Solarte. Hernandez has to hustle it back in. Here's the play to second. The throw is offline. Bregman is in there with the second double of the night.
He was going to turn this into a double no matter what. He was going to try and force his former teammate to throw him out. Teoscar gets over there. Watch Bregman come out of the box, and he puts his head down after a couple of strides and said, I'm taking off. I got to try and make something happen. If the throw's online, I think he has them. I think he's got a shot. So he was gambling that the throw was going to be offline. Teoscar, who leads the team in outfield assists with 6, misses his man at second.
Jose Altuve has walked both times he's come to the plate tonight. Fastball inside. Scoreless ball game in the bottom of the 5th. Ryan Borucki in his major league debut. Everybody in Mundelein, Illinois, watching this game, and they're at the high school with a watch party. A lot of friends and family here in Texas to take part in this major league debut, and he has pitched very well. He hasn't thrown a strike to Altuve yet, but that's okay.
No need to. Why would you, right? You've got first base open.
He's smart, too. Don't give in to him now. And he didn't. So Altuve has walked all 3 times he's come to the plate. But he hasn't gotten any further than first base. And now Gurriel will come to the plate. He has popped out and flied out. Gurriel's been a hot hitter coming into this game. Over his last 14 games, he's hit .414. And he's very aggressive early in the count.
He was on that list for RBIs in the month of June, so you got to be careful.
That's out the end of the bat. He swung at the first pitch and flies out to left field. He's 0 for 3. So Ryan Borucki now with 2 outs takes a walk behind the mound to regroup just a bit, gather his breath, and get ready for the Gaddis at bat as Preston Guillemette starts to loosen up. Evan Gaddis, they hit that ground ball to the shortstop that ended the 3rd. He has made a nice play to throw him out. Ball gets away from Martin all the way back to the screen, and that'll move the runners up. Here, a wild pitch charge to Borucki. When Borucki made the 2 starts in spring training. The first start, Luke Maile was his catcher, and the second one, Reese McGuire. Not really sure if Martin has ever had the chance to catch Borucki before.
In a game, probably on a side, don't you think? At some point, a side session in spring training.
Ground ball up the middle. That's going to get through. That'll lead to 2 runs. Evan Gaddis, 2 more runs in the month of June, and he's given the Astros a 2-0 lead. Bregman and Altuve come in to score.
That set up by the wild pitch. They get into that shift area where the shortstop is in the hole. The second baseman is behind second base, but not a full shift. There are the first runs that Ryan is going to give up in his major league career.
For Gaddis, that's RBIs 26 and 27 in the month of June.
You know, just a little ground ball that finds its way into the outfield for 2 runs.
That's popped up. Reddick got jammed, and that'll end the inning. But Evan Gaddis continues to swing a very productive bat in the month of June. Ryan Borucki, very good for 5 innings. Evan Gaddis comes up with a 2-out, 2-run single, and Houston leads it. Charlie Morton's having a good night tonight, and that's not unusual if you pitch for this Houston Astros team. When you look at their rotation, they are first in just about every category. ERA, opponent's batting average, whip, strikeouts per 9 innings, and innings per start. It's truly a dominant starting staff, and Morton has been on display again tonight.
10 strikeouts through 5 innings for Charlie Morton. This is one of the best staffs in the American League. Throw the Yankees up there, Boston, Cleveland. They've got some strikeout potential. Now, they've had some great strikeout type of pitchers here in Houston over the years. But the team record for most strikeouts by a pitching staff, the Houston Astros pitching staff, was set just last year. They had almost 1,600 strikeouts, 1,593. That's a team record. Right now, they're about halfway through the season. They're at 848.
This is their 81st game. It is halfway point for a season. Morton has 10 strikeouts tonight through 5 innings. This is the 49th time this season the Astros have had 10 or more strikeouts in a game. 60% of their games, they get 10 or more strikeouts.
They get Verlander for the full season. They get Garrett Cole for the whole season that they picked up last year. In fact, the last 2 seasons, they set team records and then broke the team record for most strikeouts by a pitching staff. 2016, they had 1,396. Last year, 1,593. And it looks like they might break it again this year.
Yeah, and let me ask you this. Would you rather have this rotation or a whole bunch of openers?
Of course, I would love to have this. When you have this many strikeouts, you're not going to put the ball in play. Well, and you're not going to have any errors.
It's not just the strikeouts. It's the fact they don't walk many guys. Sure. They come at you. They throw a lot of strikes. They work quickly. And because of that, the defense is terrific. Best in the American League.
28 errors.
Garrett Cole has been a great addition to this team. Travis lines up to Gurriel. He has made a couple of real good defensive plays in this series, and that's another one.
He's making it look easy, and he's doing it with a little style and a little flair. That ball looked like it was heading down the right field line for extra bases. Gurriel just snatches it out of the air, starts it firing it around the infield.
Houston has a 2-0 lead. Blue Jays have just 2 hits. They were back-to-back hits with 2 outs in the 5th. Russell Martin and Randall Grichuk, the only 2 hits for the Blue Jays. Curtis Granderson has gone down swinging and was called out on strikes.
Charlie Morton's been tough on the first 3 hitters of the Blue Jays tonight.
They have come to the plate 6 times, and they have struck out 6 times. That breaking ball just continues to break. It's so far outside, but it breaks and catches the outside corner.
Yeah, you tell yourself, I can't give up on that breaking ball. Got to stay with it. And when you see it out of his hand and how far outside it looks, your natural reaction is just to give up on it.
To give you an idea how tough Morton has been tonight, the first 5 Blue Jays in the order haven't put the ball in play. Justin Smoke, the only batter in the top 5 in the order, drew a walk. He's the only guy that's reached base. The others have all struck out.
That'll help your fielding percentage when you don't have to field.
Full count to Granderson.
He got Curtis last time looking at a breaking ball.
Check swing, and he's called out. McCann will take his time and throws high to first, but Gurriel comes down for the out.
Astros manager A.J. Hinch said he knew Teoscar Hernandez had a ton of potential when they traded him. He's not surprised he's found success in a short time with the Jays. He said the organization knew he had all the tools necessary to be a very good big league player, but Hernandez would have likely been the odd man out in a crowded Houston outfield.
Well, they've got a very deep ball club, and you have to trade good players to get good players. They traded him for Francisco Liriano. And when you have a deep organization, you're going to give up some talent.
Sure, you can't protect everybody, and you got what you want. You won a World Series. I don't know how much Liriano helped you do that, but you won a World Series. Teoscar has something that some players just don't have, and that's just natural bat speed that creates natural power. So he's going to hit a lot of home runs. A.J. Hinch's team has given up a few good players over the last few years.
J.D. Martinez was here.
He was pretty good, or he is pretty good.
He was released.
How about Josh Hader? Josh Hader was on this team.
Foltynewicz in Atlanta. That's what happens when you have good players and deep farm systems. And I think, you know, that's what the Blue Jays are thinking about now as these teams are calling in, showing interest in trade possibilities. And you really pay attention to the minor league systems, and that's when scouting really becomes important. The Blue Jays have some pitchers and players that other teams want, and you better know the entire organization of those teams that are calling, so you can get the best prospects available. Breaking ball.
Yeah, and we're not talking about just numbers. We're talking about how do they fit into your organization, the team, the clubhouse that you want to put together here. Do those players fit? Teoscar Hernandez fits.
2-2. Morton bounced that ball, missed with the fastball. Full count now. It's only a 2-0 game. Guy gets on, somebody runs into one, and we're tied him. Solarte's on deck. The Blue Jays have won 7 of their last 10. And they have hit 21 home runs in those 10 games. Up the middle, right near the bag at second. Altuve not in time. Teoscar, as he always does, hustling out of the box. It was brought to his attention that he hadn't really run as hard last couple weeks, but boy, he was out of the box quickly. Joe was spotted the bench coach checking with the video room, and that'll be an infield hit.
Yeah, when you have a chance for an infield hit against a guy who's dealing like Morton, you got to hustle. That ball came up just a little bit on Altuve, messed up the timing, and that helps Teoscar. Watch him bust out of here, thinking base hit. Long strides, takes one quick look, hits the front end of that bag, and has an infield hit.
His 66th hit of the season. Here is Solarte, and in a 2-0 game, he represents the tying run. The Blue Jays have hit 12 home runs on this road trip.
Timely home runs also.
They had Sunday. Sunday they had 4, including a game winner in the 10th. They had 3 more last night in the opener of this series. Granderson with a pair and Randall Grichuk with a monster 2-run home run in the 8th inning.
Altuve is the rover in the outfield. You got a shot at him out there. He's got anything in short right field.
Solarte gets jammed. Checking with the home plate umpire just to see how far inside that ball was. Adrian Johnson is the home plate umpire tonight. Inside. Pete Walker, John Gibbons have given no indication that Barucki is going to be out of this game, and I think that's a good move. Running back out there. They gave up 2 runs on a 2-run, 2-out single to Evan Gattis. Well, Brian McCann, he got smoked in the backswing. You could hear it hit the helmet. And that really caught him flush. Solarte swinging at that curveball had a big follow through.
Yeah, and the catcher starts to reach for that ball because it's breaking so much. Goes down to get it, and that's why you wear the helmet. Try to absorb some of that right there on the side of the head. And nobody feels worse than Solarte. Trying to get a base hit, big follow through, and you don't expect to hit the catcher.
Yeah, and Charlie Morton, he did a good thing. He was back there to check on the status of his catcher. When he went back to the mound, he tapped Solarte on the backside and said, "Hey, man, can't do anything about that." So McCann looks like he's going to be okay. When you reach for that breaking ball, it kind of takes you to the inside, and you can see Solarte and McCann, they check in on each other, and it's part of the game. That's all you can say. So it's a 2-2 count on Solarte with Teoscar at first. 2 outs. Off the plate inside.
He's mixing up that fastball and curveball. Nice, isn't he? Got to give Brian McCann some credit for that.
Hernandez is off on running. That's inside for ball 4.
At the Honda Checkered Flag event, the real victory lap is the drive home.
Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas. That's where we're at. Mark Martinez, Pat Tabler, and Hazel May. And we're glad you're with us tonight. Blue Jays trying to get back in it. They trail 2-0. Charlie Morton stepped off the rubber. They have forgotten there's a runner at second base now. They've got to go through a set of signs. First time, check that. Second time they've had a runner at second base. Smoke goes after the first pitch. Hits it high and deep to left. This ball's got a chance. Get up off the wall. Jake Marisnick stepped on the fence, used it to catapult himself high, and takes one away from Justin Smoke. It's one of the best defensive teams in the majors, and Marisnick saves a couple of runs for sure.
That's why they have him out there. Watch him. He had it all the way right up against the wall, plucks it off the wall, and the Blue Jays are denied in the 6th.
For Sportsnet TV subscribers, you can live stream your favorite sports on the go and on every screen. Go to snnow.ca and sign in with your TV provider to start watching today.
2-0 ball game. Ryan Barucki is back out for the 6th. Gave up 2 runs in the 5th inning on a 2-out, 2-run single to Evan Gaddis. He's walked 3 in this game, and it's Jose Altuve. He walked him 3 times. Altuve came in to score on the Gaddis single.
And I like that they're sending him back out there. Gave up a couple of runs, the first runs in the big leagues.
Better play by Solarte. He can't get up to his feet, and he's helped out by Smoke. What a terrific scoop over at first base by Justin Smoke. Solarte tried to get up, couldn't, so from the seat of his pants threw a one-hopper to first.
Looked like he caught the ball behind him. It was hit hard. He stays with it. Now he tries to get up. He says, you know what, I don't have time. Let me just fire this thing over there. I know my big first baseman's going to pick me up. He has made some dazzling plays at third base over the last couple of weeks.
He has really impressed playing at third base. I got to tell you, I found a new stat tonight in the Astros media notes. Scoop percentage.
Okay.
And it's not when you're walking your dog, folks.
Doesn't have anything to do with ice cream, does it?
Nothing to do with ice cream.
Okay.
First basemen are tracked as their scoop percentage, how good they are at scooping those low throws. And we have checked with Stats Inc. Yuli Gurriel of the Astros leads the American League with scoops. Oh, he actually leads the majors. He's 24 of 25 in scoops. Justin Smoke's pretty good.
I was going to say he's got to be up there somewhere.
He has the most opportunities, and I don't know how many other than that last one tonight he's had the scoop, but he came into this game with 33 scoop chances. He's 26 for 33 prior to tonight's game. That's a new one on me, partner. Scoop percentage.
Give a guy some time and they'll think of everything.
I still think we got to get the Ray Fosse note in there.
Yeah, I would like to see the blocks.
Catcher's blocks.
With runners at third base.
Yep. Balls in the dirt, the catcher's block, and save a run. Even saving 90 feet. Preston Guillemette up for a second time. Brian McCann. Well, he's a good candidate for a double play. McCann was thrown out 1-6-3 on a nice play by Diaz, the shortstop. Marisnick looked like he wanted to run. Marisnick has 2 stolen bases for the season. He's been on base twice tonight. Barucki. Pretty good idea. Something's going to happen in this at bat. We're in the 6th. Ground ball. Travis goes to second for 1. Solarte back to first. Double play. Nice job by the infield. The defense has been on their toes tonight in support of Ryan Barucki. 6 strong innings in his major league debut. broadcast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership.
Okay.
Another terrific game here against the Astros. Houston has a 2-0 lead as we are set for the seventh. There have been great defensive plays on both sides of the diamond tonight. And Ryan Borucki, 6 very good innings tonight.
I think
Looks like he's done. Yeah.
He's got the game face off and the smile on. So that tells me he's finished. What a job.
He was supposed to start on Sunday in Buffalo. I think he likes it better on Tuesday in Houston. Pilar bounces it foul. Charlie Morton has 11 strikeouts through 6 innings. His season high happened this May. He had 12 strikeouts right here in Minute Maid Park against the Rangers. 14 strikeouts on May 12th. There's a leadoff base hit for Pilar. Reddick over to cut it off. A leadoff single. Let's check in with Brad Fay.
But Edwin Diaz saved another game tonight.
29 saves for Diaz.
29.
He saved the W for James Paxton. Paxton, the winner, goes 7 innings, gives up 2 runs on 6 hits. He's 7-2 for the season, but Diaz, what a season. Colomé with the hold. That was another great move by Jerry DePoto, the GM, picking up Alex Colomé to be the setup man. Russell Martin got the first hit off of Charlie Morton back in the 5th. A 2-out ringing single into left center. Pilar at first. Brian McCann and Charlie Morton have done a nice job of mixing the fastball and the curveball. Early in the game, they used the curveball a lot. Now they've gone more to the fastball.
And in obvious strikeout counts, they haven't automatically gone to that curveball for strikeouts. They've used the fastball a couple of times.
Off the end of the bat. Martin is hustling up the line. Altuve quickly to Gurriel for the out. Kevin Pilar moves to second.
But that's what's pitching. That is what pitching is all about. Surprising the hitters, keeping them off balance, throwing pitches when they're not expecting it. He's had a great curveball all night, but he hasn't fallen in love with it and just keeps pumping it in there.
Well, Randall Grichuk at the plate. He had a big home run last time. Blue Jays have hit a lot of home runs since June 15th. 2 more than the red-hot Oakland A's.
He has thrown a couple of fastballs inside early on to Grichuk, and Randall's taken all the way there.
Chris Davinsky first up for the Astros tonight. Will Harris and Brad Peacock pitched for the Astros last night out of the bullpen. Randall Grichuk has had 2 plate appearances, and he's broken his bat both times. He flied out to right and had a broken bat single to left. Grichuk laid off that high fastball. It's a ball and 2 strikes.
It doesn't have the fastball he had earlier tonight. That thing, we saw some 96 and some 97s, but he's had the breaking ball.
There's the breaking ball. Another strikeout. Now a look at Marvel Studios' Ant-Man and the Wasp. Then Miss Diaz goes back to the dugout as they're going to be a pinch hitter, and they're waiting on Kendrys Morales, I would assume.
Yeah, Blue Jays made a roster move today. They only have 3 players on the bench. There's Kendrys right there. Gio Urshela was sent down today, or DFA'd, to get Ryan Borucki on the active roster. So they're only carrying 3 bench players. This is the only left-handed hitter they have tonight.
Morales, Maile, and Pierce available bats off the bench, and now Morales will bat for Aledmus Diaz. Morales hit for Diaz on Sunday afternoon in the 10th inning of that 6-6 game, and hit a 2-out home run to win it. Takes the first pitch breaking ball. Morales with 8 home runs.
You know, because Gio Urshela was sent out, Russell Martin's the backup third baseman. So we're probably going to see Luke Maile catch, Russell over at third, and Solarte to play shortstop. Bottom of this inning.
Breaking ball, dribbled up the third base line. McCann's going to let it roll just in case it rolls back fair, but it didn't. That's a good point. And this is not an ideal roster. Obviously, you'd like to have more than 3 extra players. Remember, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. was sent back to the minor leagues, and he's basically a second baseman shortstop. Urshela was strictly a third baseman.
And he can play some shortstop too if you need to.
Steve Pierce can play on the infield.
Yeah. What this does here, Morales pinch hitting, doesn't really have a position to go into the game. He can go to first base, but then what do you do with Justin Smoke? So
Morton strikes him out. 13 strikeouts for Charlie Morton through 7 innings, 1 off his career high.
Monday, July 2nd, the first 20,000 fans will receive this J-Hap bobblehead presented by Honda. Then watch your Blue Jays host the Detroit Tigers this Canada Day weekend. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com. Back up to the booth and checking in once again with Buck Martinez and Pat Tabler.
Thank you very much, Hazel May, as we have a new pitcher in the ballgame for the Blue Jays. It's Preston Gilman. Takes over after Ryan Borucki's 6 strong innings. The Blue Jays trail 2-0. Gilman making his 6th appearance of the season.
yeah, just 5 games for Preston after the Blue Jays picked him up on waivers on June the 9th. Made his Toronto debut on the 11th at Tampa Bay with a scoreless inning. Now got to throw up a couple of zeros.
Luke Maley comes into the game behind the plate to take over for Russell Martin as Martin moves from catcher to third base. And the third baseman, Solarte, moves from third to short. Aledmys Diaz is out of the game. So Kendrys Morales, the pinch hitter, is now replaced by Luke Maley in the 8th spot. Line drive to left field. Teoscar makes the running catch. One pitch, one out for Guillemette here in the bottom of the 7th.
Preston's been good. Fastball, slider, a little splitter. He last worked in that series in Los Angeles versus the Angels. An inning and a third. Gave up a home run. That was his only hit or run that he gave up that day.
2-0 ball game. The Astros scored 2 runs with 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th on the runs of this game. Alex Bregman is 2 for 3, a couple of doubles. Bregman, 267 for the season. 2 doubles now has got him up to 24. I watched him a lot during batting practice today, and boy, he works hard on different areas of the strike zone. You see, he holds his bat upright, chokes up about 2 inches on the bat handle. He's got a very quick short stroke.
That'll help him to pull the ball like he did last night, pulling the ball into the Crawford boxes for a home run. But he does a neat thing. He flattens the bat right when the pitch is on the way. Now, you really can't hit with a straight up and down bat, but he flattens it right before he starts to swing. That'll help to shorten up the swing.
Three balls and a strike now. Jose Altuve, he hasn't had to swing the bat tonight. He's walked 3 times and scored a run. Fair ball. That ball's going to carry him off the fence, and it's going to end up as another double for Bregman. Down the left field line, those seats jut out onto the field a little bit like Boston's Fenway Park. So on balls inside that bag, the shortstop has to go out and make the play to help out the left fielder.
Yeah, you don't become a cutoff man on a ball down the line, especially when it hits these seats out in the no man's land and it's run down by Teoscar. Solarte is playing shortstop because Diaz was just pulled from the game after they pinch hit for him.
Here is Altuve. We mentioned he's walked all 3 times he's come to the plate. Fronts it back to the pitcher. Guillemette throws him out. Altuve too much toward the pitcher. He's trying to get it down the third baseline, so he is thrown out by Guillemette. Bregman moves to third, but now there are 2 outs. Altuve didn't bunt all that often, but he sensed there was an opportunity with Russell Martin.
That's right.
Third base.
That's right. He just saw that Russell came into the game at third base and he was deep. So he tried to lay one down in front of him to start a big inning.
Altuve is now 1 for 6 in the series. Good job by Maley on that ball in the dirt. Yuli Gurriel is 0 for 3. Gurriel last night a pair of hits in a 2 for 4 effort. Breaking ball off the plate. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Tim Mesa loosening up, one of the 2 lefties in the Blue Jays bullpen now. off the end of the bat. Solarte bobbles, fires in time, and that'll do it. So Alex Bregman is stranded at third with his third double of the night. We'll go to the eighth. Houston with a 2-0 lead. Now, and Marco Estrada will draw the honors. It's a 1:30 p.m. East Coast time start, 10:30 Pacific time. So make sure you pay attention to the schedule. It's a day game as we wrap up this 3-game series. He'll be opposed by Dallas Keuchel, a former Cy Young Award winner. Keuchel is 4-8 for the season. Estrada is 4-7, but he's really turned things around lately and thrown the ball very well.
They both have. But first, Chris Davinsky in the ball game. Here are the numbers for the bullpen. This is a very good bullpen for the Houston Astros. Davinsky, fastball, slider, outstanding changeup. Doesn't walk anybody. He's got a whip under 1. Well, he is taken over as the setup man. And it's a game-by-game decision for A.J. Hinch, who's going to close.
Devin Travis, it's a fly ball to center field. Davinsky records the first out here in the 8th.
It's time to fire up your senses. Your best experience begins with Broil King, available at your local home hardware. Here's how.
They're in Houston, Texas, and the Astros have a 2-0 lead, trying to even the series at a game apiece. Curtis Granderson has struck out all 3 times he's come to the plate. He takes the first pitch strike.
That's why he's so tough against left-handed hitters this year. Lefty's hitting just 169 against Davinsky because he's got that fade changeup. He rocks back, fires off, falls off the mound towards first base, and then floats that changeup in there. Watch this. Tough to pick it up.
It's an interesting delivery, and you described it perfectly, how he steps toward the first base foul line, and you see the body go, and the arm's not there yet, and then he throws you that changeup. Davinsky, drafted by the White Sox in 2011 out of Cal State Fullerton. Granderson hits it off the glove of Davinsky. It's deflected right to Altuve. 2 away.
And he's got enough fastball that you can't sit on that changeup. He'll throw it a lot. Change. And he's got enough fastball. Falls off the mound. Deflects that ball over to Altuve for the second out.
Davinsky, we mentioned he started out with the White Sox. He came to Houston in a trade that sent Brett Myers to the White Sox. August 3rd of 2012. This is his third season with the Astros. A very good changeup. Teoscar Hernandez had an infield hit his last time up. He's 1 for 3. Tough pitch just on the outside corner. Blue Jays have 4 hits, all singles. Breaking ball fouled into the seats.
Did a few of those too. You know, I mentioned he's been tough on left-handers. He's also been tough on right-handers. They're hitting under 200 against him. He's given up 8 hits all season long to a right-handed batter.
Back over the screen and out of play.
Some competitive at-bats for Teoscar Hernandez. First look at his former team.
Had a 3-hit game last night. He was 3 for 5. He's 1 for 3 tonight. Eventually strikes him out. That's the 14th time the Blue Jays have struck out tonight. Now time for a Blue Jays Central Update. Here's Brad Fay with Kevin Barker from the Samsung Broadcast Studio. Checkered flag event. Check out their all-star lineup.
The Houston Astros offense leads just about everybody in baseball with their stats. Well, here's another one. A 2-out RBI. Tonight it's Evan Gattis. A 2-out, 2-run single to center field, adding to his lead for RBIs in the month of June. That's the only scoring that we have had tonight. It's also our drive of the game.
Gattis now with 27 RBIs in the month of June. He's 2 off of the Astros club record set by Jimmy Wynn in 1967. He had 29. It was tied by Jose Cruz, who had 29 in 1984. A historic month for Evan Gattis. For the season, he's driven in 51. He didn't get much attention when you talk about hitters in this lineup, but he's having a fine season.
4 players in this lineup have driven in at least 40 runs. 5 players have driven in at least 40 runs. That's the most in the major leagues.
Gattis leads the team with those 51 RBIs. Correa has 49. He did not start tonight. Bregman has 45. Altuve with 41.
And he's hitting over 300 with runners in scoring position. Think of him as a big home run hitter. He's been an RBI man for him.
George Springer, the right fielder, he too has 42 RBIs. You know, the Astros won the World Series last year. They didn't have a 100 RBI guy on their team.
It's hard to believe, isn't it?
Very balanced attack. That's a strike. 3-1 now to Evan Gattis. Preston Gilbert came into the game last inning, gave up a one-out double to Bregman, but was able to strand him at third. Another strike with a fastball. Ryan Borucki made his major league debut tonight, and he pitched well. 6 innings, 2 runs on 6 hits. He walked 4, including Altuve 3 times, and had 3 strikeouts. He threw 95 pitches in those 6 innings. Bill Gattis will go to first base with the walk. Borucki's mound opponent was very impressive tonight. Charlie Morton, 98 pitches. That's interesting given the fact he struck out 13.
13. He had a 14 strikeout game earlier this season against Texas. A couple of walks, no earned runs for Charlie Morton. That curveball was outstanding tonight. He was throwing hard early on, and he was combining with a very good curveball to pick up those 13 strikeouts.
Tony Kemp comes on as a pinch runner at first base for Evan Gattis. Josh Reddick, the batter, he takes a strike. One more note on Ryan Borucki. He's the 15th Blue Jays pitcher with a quality start in his major league debut, and the first since Zach Stewart back in 2011. Stewart made that quality start against the Orioles. 15 Blue Jays have had a quality start in their major league debut. Kyle Drabek, Mark Zebchinski, Brett Cecil, Ricky Romero among the 15 pitchers. Jerry Garvin had the first quality start in his major league debut. That was in the inaugural season in 1977. It was in the first series against the Chicago White Sox.
Was Jesse Litch on that?
Jesse Litch is on the list as well.
Against the Orioles?
2007. Reddick shows bunt and pulls the bat back. Brandon Lyle, Mauro Gazzo, Gustavo Jacin, Alex Sanchez, Louis Leal, Butch Edge, Phil Huffman. Lots of familiar names on that list, and Ryan Borucki has been most recently added. Reddick reaches for it and fouls it off. It's 1-2 now. It's a 2-0 Astros lead. Looking ahead to the top of the 9th, Solarte, Smoke, and Pilar, the scheduled hitters. Pete Walker talking to the Blue Jays bullpen.
And that's why they want to keep it a 2-run game.
Down the right side, this ball is a foul ball. Reddick been swinging the bat well. He had the pinch hit, base hit in last night's game. He got a hit in each of his first 2 plate appearances tonight.
And then popped up to third base, just misses extra bases down the right field line. He's got a strikeout pitch. Gilbert does. A hard splitter.
Kemp at first base. You mentioned he appeared as a pinch hitter in last night's game. Kemp has 3 stolen bases. He's been caught once. Luke Maile into the game. He's behind the plate. Little squibber up the third baseline, and Haley lets it roll foul. I think Luke thought about jumping on that earlier, but he wouldn't have had a chance to get the runner at second.
No, Kemp runs too well. That's why he's in the ball game. You got to make a split-second decision. Do I pick it up and try and get an out anywhere? He made the right decision. Astros have been very aggressive tonight when they've had chances to start that runner at first base. I'm a little surprised they haven't yet.
It's going to get down for a base hit for Reddick, his third hit of the ball game. He's 3 for 4. First and second, nobody out. Jim Mesa has been throwing for the Blue Jays. Marwin Gonzalez is a switch hitter. Better from the right side than the left.
So they're going to talk about this now. Let's talk about the signs. Let's talk about the pitch sequence. Let's also talk about the play on the infield if they decide to try and bunt the runners up. Luke Maley, you can see he's leading that meeting.
Gonzalez has 3 sacrifice bunts. The team, the Astros, they have 8. So he has been asked to bunt before. The American League team that leads with sacrifice bunts, the Seattle Mariners. They have 20. He squares and bunts it toward third. That's the ideal place to bunt it in this situation if you're Gonzalez.
Yeah, you try and make that third baseman field the ball. He's got to leave third base. That'll open it up for Kemp to go to third base. But if you bunt it hard enough, Russell can go to second and possibly turn it into a double play.
But now they might take the bunt off. Bunting again. Down and in. I wouldn't be surprised if they take it off now. They've got a good hitter at the plate in Gonzalez. He's a very good fastball hitter. So if the Blue Jays think he's going to bunt, more than likely he'll get a fastball.
A high fastball. What A.J. Hinch is thinking about, okay, is he a hot hitter? Does he come into this game swinging a hot bat? Or do I feel more comfortable about trying to make the Blue Jays play defense? And if he's successful, Jake Marisnick, is he swinging better than Gonzalez? There's your answer.
Gonzalez swinging away, hits a fly ball to right. So first out. So they took the bunt off, and Gonzalez didn't have a very good swing at that. So Jake Marisnick now. Marisnick had a ringing double in the second off Ryan Borucki. He walked in the 6th. He's 1 for 2. Preston Gilmet trying to keep this a 2-0 score. Tony Kemp, the pinch runner, is at second. Reddick's at first. They both run well.
Evan Travis knows that. He knows that Kemp can run, so he is shadowing second base. Not letting him get very far off.
Ball in the dirt, but Maley keeps it close to home plate.
You know, you don't, stay close to second base to stop him from running. If you stop him from advancing on a short, wild pitch, A base hit into the outfield. Just keep him close so he can't get a good running start at second base.
Two balls and a strike now. Gilman has given up 2 hits since he's come into the game. He's walked a batter. Fouled and back to the backstop. 2-2 now. Marisnick is the 8th man Gilman has faced since he's entered the ball game. Barecki went 6. Gilman pitched a good 7th, and now he's working with 1 out here in the 8th.
And probably his last. They've got Meza warming up. But you got to think, if they bring in Meza to face McCann, you know A.J. Hinch is going to pinch hit for him. He's got that Correa kid sitting over there. You can walk him if you want them. I mean, there's all kind of options here. Blue Jays trying to keep this a 2-run game heading into the 9th inning.
That's what's being discussed on the Blue Jays bench right now. And that is a moot point. Jake Marisnick with a 3-run home is busted and wide open here in the 8th.
Yeah, all that planning doesn't matter now, thanks to Jake Marisnick. Last night it was Teoscar Hernandez stinging his former team. Tonight, Jake Marisnick gets his former team. He's had a double, a walk, and now a 3-run home run to bust this thing wide open.
Big home run makes it a 5-0 ball game. Preston Guillemette, breaking ball, stayed over the heart of the plate, and it's a no-doubter above the Crawford seats in left. A 3-run home run, number 6 for Marisnick. Tim Meza into the ball game. Brian McCann is still on deck, so it'll be lefty on lefty when we come back. Still just 1 out here in the 8th.
Plenty of exciting action coming your way at Rogers Center. The Jays host the Tigers this Canada Day weekend, followed by the New York Mets. They come to town July 3rd and 4th. Then you've got back-to-back AL East opponents with the New York Yankees and the Baltimore Orioles. And then you close out the month by catching the Minnesota Twins from July 23rd to the 25th. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
Tim Meza misses with the first pitch to Brian McCann. Meza up for the 5th time from AAA Buffalo. First time he has pitched since his most recent recall. Ball and strike.
That was June the 10th was the last time he was on the mound. A game that the Blue Jays won 13-3 against Baltimore. Tim threw 2 innings. It was very effective, giving up just 1 hit.
Hector Rondon standing by ready in their bullpen. It is a 5-0 Astros lead. Meza has all of the weapons to be a very effective relief pitcher. What he needs to do is improve his ability of getting left-handed batters out. They are 7 for 16 against him this season. That's a .438 average. And it's a commodity that's hard to find.
Lefties who throw hard.
And can get lefties out.
And can get lefties out. I think all he has to do is command the breaking ball just a little bit better against left-handed hitters. And you got plenty of fastball. That's what I'm talking about. Right there. He wanted to finish him off with a hard slider and held on to it too long, and he missed.
It was a ball immediately out of his hand. So a good hitter like McCann, he's not even going to offer at it, even with 2 strikes.
That's a better one.
Meza gets the strikeout. 2 outs in the inning as McCann is 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts.
It hung in the middle. They actually wanted this ball on the outside corner. It hung in the middle, but watch at the last minute. He gets some movement on it.
George Springer is 0 for 4 tonight. Mighty cut. Springer is 0 for 9 in the series. His average at .261. Springer is now 0 for his last 20.
Trying to bust out of it in a big way, and he's not picking up the baseball. I think if you're Tim Meza right now, you don't have to throw him a strike.
Good fastball. 95. Meza's got all the weapons. There's no question about that. For the season, this is his 11th appearance. He's 1-0 with a .270 earned run average. Fly ball hit to left field. Hernandez is on the run. This ball is off the wall. Pilar plays it very well as Springer snaps his 0 for 20 with a 2-out double.
And he wants the ball. First inning, you can see him having some fun with it. He's an everyday player, and you go through those kind of mini slumps during the year, but then you bust out of it and you don't look back. Didn't look like too bad of a pitch from Meza. A slider that was down, but Springer got over and got on it.
That's the 17th double of the season for George Springer. As we mentioned, that snaps an 0 for 20. It's the 10th hit for the Astros tonight. Alex Bregman has 3 doubles tonight. He's 3 for 4. Before the Blue Jays got here on Sunday, in his first at bat, he was sporting a mustache, made an out, went inside and shaved it off. It's been hot ever since.
All players will do that. Do things like that. Rip up their uniform when they're not hitting and try a different one.
This is trouble. This is a home run. Alex Bregman, a 4-hit game with a 2-run home run here in the 8th.
It's an off offense, the best in terms of batting average in the American League, the best in baseball. And you want to just get out of town. They won game 1 yesterday. It's a 2-0 game heading into this inning, and just like that, it's 8-0.
Bregman with his second 4-hit game of the season. And Altuve finally gets a hit. Altuve bunted for a base hit in the 7th, but he was thrown out by the pitcher. So Bregman, a 4-hit game. All 4 hits have been extra bases.
Another breaking ball that catches too much of the plate. Doesn't make him reach for it. And again, it's not very far down that left field line. Homered like that in last night's game. 4 extra base hits.
First time in his career he's had a 4 extra base hit game. Yuli Gurriel. He's been shut out so far, 0 for 4. Five runs in the inning. Hayes got a call there. That ball was off the plate. It's now 2 balls and a strike. Ground ball. Martin bobbles, fires across the diamond in time. That'll end the inning, but the Astros put up a 5 spot in their half of the 8th. Marisnick with a 3-run shot. Alex Bregman a 2-run home run. Hector Rondon in to close things out.
On Sportsnet. Presented by Honda. The Honda Checkered Flag event is back. Hurry in to grab the Civic that matches your game.
Well, a 2-0 game turned into a 7-0 game in a heartbeat as the Astros hit a couple of home runs in the 8th inning. They score 5 runs and take a commanding 7-0 lead. Hector Rondon on to try to close things out.
He's been a nice addition to this bullpen. Throws very hard. They got him from Detroit. 1-2, 161 earned run average. He also has 4 saves for this team. 34 strikeouts and just 8 walks. Tony Kemp takes over in left field, so the DH is into the game. So Rondon is into the game also. You put him in the 6th spot in the batting order as Kemp takes over in left field.
It'll be Solarte Smoke and Kevin Pillar for the Blue Jays. Blue Jays have managed 4 hits, all singles. That's fouled out of play.
Mentioned that Rondon started with the Indians organization. He was Rule 5 pickup by the Cubs. And then the Cubs chose not to offer a contract to him. And he signed as a free agent this past December. He's got a big arm. You have to give up somebody like this who throws this hard.
He was the closer in Chicago for the Cubs until they picked up a role with Chapman. A couple years ago, when Chapman took over and he was relegated to a setup role.
Right now, they are trying to figure out, is he a closer? Solarte hits one in the left field.
A broken bat base hit for Solarte. That's the way the Blue Jays start the top of the ninth. Fifth hit of the game for Toronto. Justin Smoke has walked, struck out, and flied out. He's the guy that hit that drive up against the fence in left center in the sixth. Looked like the Blue Jays were going to tie it up at that point. And that's a great catch by Jake Marisnick to rob the Blue Jays of 2 runs.
Play of the game. Really turned around the momentum. Blue Jays looked like they were getting nothing off of Charlie Morton. They had a chance on that ball in the 6th inning. Looked like 2 runs for sure. Jake Marisnick climbed the wall, hauled it in, and they haven't looked back.
He's had a Randall Grichuk kind of night. Hit a 2-run home run and actually hit a 3-run home run and saved a couple of runs in the outfield, just like Grichuk did last night. Ball on his strike to Smoke. Swing and a miss. One away, Smoke strikes out. Now for a preview of what's coming up on Sportsnet Central is Ken Reed and Monka Osman. One out, Kevin Pillar now. Pillar takes the first pitch, strike. In case you haven't heard, the news today was not good in regards to Josh Donaldson. He re-injured his calf injury, and there is no timetable for his return. He did it fielding ground ball in Dunedin, trying to get ready to come back and re-aggravate that same calf injury. So he is on the shelf once again with no timetable.
Boy, that is too bad. When we left on this road trip, there was some hints that maybe we'd be able to meet him at some point on this trip, maybe here in Houston. And got to the ballpark today and found out that he re-aggravated the hip, or excuse me, the calf, as that ball was pulled foul. And now, what was it? They'll reevaluate it in 3 weeks?
3 weeks before they even have another look at it. So he's going to be down for the long term. He's already missed 24 games on this most recent disabled stint. One ball, 2 strikes to Pillar. That's off the plate outside. It's 2-2.
That's some easy cheese, as they say, right there. 98 miles an hour, and it doesn't look like he's throwing very hard. Probably does to Kevin Pillar.
Fly ball off the end of the bat. Again, broke bat, comes in, makes the catch, 2 away. We'll be right back here tomorrow afternoon. And remember, it's a 1:30 Eastern Time pregame show. Marco Estrada will go to the hill for the Blue Jays. He'll be opposed by the left-hander Dallas Keuchel. It'll be a rubber match of this 3-game series. Russell Martin now at third base, 1 for 3. He got the first hit of the ball game for the Blue Jays, a 2-out single in the 5th off Charlie Morton. Morton was outstanding tonight. 7 innings, no runs on 4 hits. He walked 2 and struck out 13.
Yeah, you knew something was up in that first inning when he struck out the side, all swinging. Said, okay, Charlie's got the Uncle Charlie tonight. Good curveball.
7 of the 13 strikeouts that Morton registered were to the top 3 batters in the Blue Jays order. Granderson, Hernandez, and Solarte. They combined to strike out 7 times against Morton. The Blue Jays overall have struck out 15 times tonight. They just couldn't get anything going against Morton, and the bullpen has been as effective.
They had 11 strikeouts last night. It's one of the best strikeout teams, pitching teams in baseball.
We mentioned this is the 81st game of the season, including tonight. The Astros have had 49 double-digit strikeout games for the season. Russell Martin draws the 2-out walk. Randall Grichuk picked up a base hit tonight. Off the plate for ball 1. In case you're just joining us, Ryan Borucki made his major league debut tonight. Went 6 innings, allowed 2 runs on 6 hits. Walked 4 and struck out 3. He threw 95 pitches in his first big league game, and he was impressive.
And he's earned another start for me. And, you know, the Blue Jays they've been non-committal what's going to happen after today, but he's earned another one. He did some good things out there against the best hitting team in the American League.
Pitch it. Takes it, strike 2. 98 with the fastball. They're down to their last strike. Seven nothing Houston. Fly ball to center. Marichnik has room. He makes the catch. The Astros even the series at a game apiece. A combination of outstanding starting pitching, very balanced attack offensively.
Yeah, and they show you why they're the best team offensively in the American League. It was 2-0 through 7 innings, and all of a sudden they let loose 5 runs in the 8th inning, blowing this one wide open. They had some home runs. They showed you some power and breadth.